What is good, you guys? I hope you guys had a great start to the week. How'd everybody do today? Everybody should have had a pretty nice day. I know if you were in the floor, we caught a one and done on Tesla. Actually, a banger to start the week. 17, I can't even remember. Over 17%. Yeah, 17.39% to start the week. We like days like that, don't we? Yeah, we could not have asked for much of a cleaner play this morning unless first one was 30% off open. Yeah, that's sick. Honestly, the only way that I would have been happier with today is if I would have just taken this on the opening candle. I do my best to avoid like crazy high risk scenarios, and yeah, that was one that was kind of a smack in the face afterwards, to be honest with you. It was one of those where it's like, okay, you played it safe, but watch this. But yeah, Tesla was a nice one and done to start the week. For anybody that wasn't there this morning, we ended up catching it on this candle right here, 934. Ended up getting filled right around 476 on this. Scaled out on some at the break of high of day on the 935 candle. Scaled out of another quarter above the 480 break. 480.44 was actually pretty much where I got filled on my sell on that 25%. And then the rest, we took off still up here for green, but not as green. I wanted to see that 481 break. I just didn't want to hold through as deep of a potential pullback that we could have gotten there. We actually didn't end up pulling back too far on this. We would have still been green or break even if we held through that pullback. But NQ is absolutely destroying itself this morning. So like I said, just really was trying to be as risk-free as possible today, which, I always like to start my weeks as safely as I can. I don't want to get the week started off on a bad note. Like, even if you have a red day to start the week, that's one thing. But if you're doing like out of pocket, just high risk scenarios for pretty much no reason, when you could just chill for a couple minutes and play it safe, I would much rather do it that way, because I don't want to spend the rest of my week ever. I mean, not just this week, but ever. I don't want to spend the whole rest of my week just digging myself out of a hole from a possibly stupid decision made at the very beginning of the week. But yeah, Tesla was a beautiful trade today, no matter how you took it, whether you took it at open at that 470, 79 level we were watching, or whether you waited and took it with me. Either way, super clean play. I don't think there was really any other better opportunity in the market. I mean, everything we were watching last night ended up playing out and ended up hitting target. So with the watch list that I made from last night and this morning, you could not really have gone wrong regardless of what you played. But either way, I think Tesla was probably the cleanest out of them all. Circle was nice downside. Yeah, I was watching Circle as well. Tesla obviously had my main attention here, but we saw Circle tank off pretty hard here, right below that 81.34 level I was watching. So yeah, either way, that's what we were looking at this morning. For anybody that is new here, welcome in. Basically what we do in this stream is just go through my watch list, see what I'm liking for tomorrow and possibly the rest of the week, depending on what setups actually play out and when we see those setups play out. So yeah, we're going to go through my watch list here from A to Z, see what I'm liking, see what I'm not liking, and then at the end of the stream, I'm going to actually create my watch list. And also, there's always time left over for Q&As. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, stick around till the end. Obviously, you can ask questions throughout the stream, but I will mainly be focusing on the charts here for now. But actually, first off, let's just go ahead and see, where did NQ end the day here? So overall, I mean, we pretty much just sold off today, but we didn't really go anywhere new. We're still within the range from Friday, so not necessarily going anywhere new yet. A lot of our stocks took a pretty big dump today, though. So it looks like we're going to be most likely seeing a lot of downside continuation plays here. First thing I'm seeing right now is Amazon. Down here at, what is this, 221.50. This actually looks really nice. Amazon was moving super nicely on Friday. That was one that I was kind of interested in today as well, but we were a little too far away at market open. But 221.50 looks really nice. This is a level I have on the 4-hour. We also bounced perfectly off of it towards the end of the day today. Actually, was this like last minute of the day? No, a few minutes off the end of the day. So yeah, Amazon actually looks really nice to the downside here. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and unmark AMD. Amazon is already marked. Swung Tesla calls. It went 170% and recovered last week's loss. Nice, nice. There you go. Did you swing this week's contracts? AVGO, I'm probably good on. BA, I'm all good. Baidu, I'm okay. Coin. The last few times we've looked at Coin has been very iffy with the contract volume. Like, maybe they'll pick it up last second, or maybe they don't pick it up at all. But Coin's volume, I've not been a huge fan of recently. Let's see, Circle. I think I'm going to pass on Circle as well. We sold off pretty hard today, so not looking for much more there. This week, 500 calls. 500 calls. Nice. I don't know how to say your name, but nice. Let's see. DAL. What are we looking like contract-wise? Pretty low on volume, pretty decent spreads. 71.64 doesn't look awful, but I highly doubt that we're going to have the contract volume we need to actually trade this, so I'm going to pass. Google. I think I'm done there too. There's nothing for me there. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, with how much everything sold off today, we might be looking pretty slim on the watch list. We're already over halfway through the watch list, and I've only seen one thing that I'm a big fan of so far. Meta looks good to the downside. Technically, the safest level for me to play this at would be 636, but this 638.61 level does not look bad either. That was Friday's low of day, and I believe today's low of day as well. So yeah, that looks good on Meta at 638.61. 636 is the next big level I would be looking at for Meta, though. Let's just see here. What do we have below that? We've got, yeah, this looks good. I like this. 638.61, 636. Then we have 634.26, and then 630.50. I actually really like it when we have a bunch of supports or resistances stacked on top of each other like this, because it gives us really clear entries, really clear targets, and we pretty much know exactly where the next area of difficulty would be. So yeah, I do really like Meta. I always like these types of setups where we have these levels stacked right on top of each other. So Meta looks good. Definitely keeping that marked. Marvel, I'm all good. Microsoft coming back into a demand zone here. I think I'm probably going to pass on Microsoft to the downside. I don't think this thing's ready yet. I think we've got, well, it might be ready, but the more important thing is to play it as safely as possible. I think we're actually probably going to have to wait until we see some larger time frame candles close below this 470 area. Other than that, it's just way too easy to bounce there. As you guys can see, I mean, if you're looking at this and just look back at the chart, you guys can clearly see that this area has been a pretty big struggle to the downside. Okay, yeah, let's see here. MSTR, I think I'm good here as well. We could look at low of day technically, but other than that, there's not much here. We don't have a ton of room either. We've got room down to like 160 pretty easily, so what, 50 cents a room there? Not really worth it. MU has earnings on Wednesday after market closes, so I'm good on MU until Thursday morning, or maybe Wednesday night, depending on how we're looking. NVIDIA, I'm going to pass on as well. Wow. So far, we are almost to the end of the watch list, and we have 2 things. That doesn't mean it's going to be a bad day, but it does mean that we are going to have to be very selective, and the less things we have to look at, the higher chance we have of a cash day, which I will take over a red day anytime. Oracle at 181.40 looks good. I would probably just look to play this down to 180. Obviously, main target here would be momentum. Main target here would be momentum up until we get down to 180, though. I don't think we have much. What is this? 179.55. Yeah. We don't really have anything down until 180, and really even at 180, that's just a psychological level that I would be targeting. Other than that, we've got a decent amount of room down here, and actually a little bit too much for me to be looking for our next major level as a target, so got to keep this move expectation here realistic. I think 180 would be a great target for that. QQQ. Okay, let's see here. Oop. Shop coming down. Not much volume here. The 155 puts have some decent volume, but do we have anything worth looking at is the question. The only thing that I would really look at here would be 156.31. Let's see. Okay. Snow. I believe Snow's volume is pretty shot as well. Yeah. Let's see here. AMD, I didn't see anything that I liked on it, but I'll go back and double check it just in case I glossed over it and shouldn't have. Tesla pulled back pretty heavy after we made new highs. So I think Tesla is probably going to be out for tomorrow, to be honest with you. I don't see any scenario where I would really, really like Tesla here. Like, I'm trying to imagine how it could come back up, and I would like it to the upside. And there's also not really any levels here that I like to the downside. You could probably look at low of day once again and get away with it, but not really the highest probability setup here. I mean, we did bounce a couple times after hours. It would not be the worst setup in the world. I guess when I say low of day, I didn't mean low of day. This support right here, which is actually 470.79 essentially, which was our previous resistance. So this is now acting as a support. I'm interested to see if they're going to set this up for a break back to the downside, or if they're going to try and use this area to actually build a new base and get some continuation off of that. But yeah, I can't envision any way where I really, really like Tesla to either direction. So yeah, same Tudia. I believe that's how you say your name. Okay, yeah. Wow, we have 3 things for tomorrow. That the charting portion of this session has taken almost no time at all. Let's see, AMD, I'm double checking this for you. Pratt. Yeah, I really don't have anything here. even if you were looking at the after hours low, we have what? After hours low is 206, basically 206. We have about $1.20 of room here. And there's really no setup after hours, so I'm all good there. Oh, got you, Mike. Got you. Yeah, Tesla does not look great, in my opinion. Obviously, things can change. Sorry about the hiccup, guys. Obviously, things can change pre-market. But as of right now, we have 3 things. This whole entire charting session is about to be 30 minutes long. Sorry, guys. I would go slower and stretch this out for an hour, but it's like actually difficult for me to go that slow. So I do my best in these charting sessions to take my time, but when the levels are there, the levels are just there, and there's not anything that's worth hunting for. Meta is your top favorite. Yeah, Meta looks good. Meta does look good. I actually really like Amazon, and the only reason that I'm so pro Amazon right now is because of how it was moving on Friday. I know obviously just because it was moving well on Friday doesn't mean that it has to move well every day, but I have not seen it move like that in quite a while. And it was like midday on Friday that it was getting some pretty nice moves with continuation. So if we could get that at open, Amazon can absolutely pay. So Amazon, I'm going to be looking at the 221.50 support on the 4 hour. We have bounced off of this level twice today, making this a flat bottom. Targeting a move down to the 221 break, which is a psychological level. And let's just see what else we have here. 1 hour, I'm all good. 30-minute, we don't have anything. Could have swore we had a trend here. We do, 220.30. Below this, I have room down to the 15-minute trend at, what did I say, 220.30 for my final target. Sick. Next up here, Meta. So for the trade idea, I'm probably going to focus just on our first 2 main levels here. All these other levels below that I would be interested in still. So just because I'm not writing them doesn't mean I'm not interested. But 634.26, I don't necessarily expect Meta to have a $4 straight drop with no type of bounce or anything. So I would most likely be looking at those for a separate trade. I am just going to write out the ones that we can count on for now. So Meta, I'm looking at the 638.61 flat bottom on the 30-minute for a break to the downside. Targeting a move to our next support at 636. Well, targeting a move to our next support break at 636. Below this, we have room to another support on the 4 hour at 634.26, which also lines up with a 15-minute bottom side downtrend for my absolute final target. Like I said, I am still interested in these supports below this area. I'm just not going to be writing them out on here because there is not much of a point. Oracle. I'm going to be looking at the 181.40 low of day from Monday because these trade ideas are going to be for tomorrow. Oh, well. I guess I better fix all these. Hold on. Monday. Okay. Looking at the 184 or 181.40 low of day from Monday for a break to the downside. targeting a move to the 180 break. Next psychological level. Below this, we have a ton of room to fall all the way Let's see. I thought we had some more trends higher than the 15-minute, but I might be wrong. We're rejecting the 30, so that's solid. 15 has a trend. Oh. 5-minute does not. 1 minute does not. All right, so I guess 15-minute trend it is. All the way down to the 15-minute trend at 176.70. Wow. All right. Maybe a record time for going through all the stocks and creating the full watch list on stream. 25 minutes in and we are pretty much done. This is our major list for tomorrow. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I say this quite often, and especially if you're new to trading, you might feel like I'm just saying this just to say this, but charting truly is like the easiest part of trading by a long shot. It might seem difficult if you're brand new to it, but once you do it for as long as I've been doing it, it literally takes you, like I could have had this done 15 minutes ago if I needed to. But either way, yeah, I guess that's what we've got for tomorrow. We really don't have a ton on the watch list right now, so everything that's there is there because it looks good, and everything else does not. To me. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but this is my list of trades that I am actually expecting to make a, well, not only a nice move, but a clean move if we have the right price action. Does Oracle usually have contract volume? Surprisingly, yes, Mike. It's one that you would not expect to have consistent volume like it does, but it actually does have pretty consistent volume. So, yeah, Oracle and Circle have actually, maybe not Circle so much, but Oracle has become one of my favorites for sure. Oracle pretty much always has volume now, which is interesting because it used to be one of those that you would have to be like on the lookout for and say, it's probably not going to have volume, but the setup looks good enough. So yeah, Mike, the only thing I will say is Oracle sometimes can have some pretty nasty spreads. I mean, not really anything worse than what you're used to, but it can have some pretty decent spreads sometimes compared to stuff like Tesla or Amazon or Nvidia or stuff like that. So yeah, Oracle is one that can have some nasty spreads depending on the day. It's okay. Cash days are a part of the game. Of course. It's actually been a while since we've had a cash day. I would be completely okay with a cash day. I like Netflix right now. Mike, I haven't looked at Netflix in so long. Just because you brought that up, I'm about to just pull it up on the chart. Netflix is the only stock that I've ever had a rule where I actually truly would not play it to the downside. I've never had a complete directional bias on a stock other than Netflix because the downside plays were just always so gross with hardly any follow through. And then Netflix got fully removed from my watch list, I believe either at the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I hate this stock. And I used to love this stock, so it kind of sucks. Yeah, for sure, Mike. I'm just saying you bringing up Netflix just made me think might as well look at it and see where we're at. Yeah, I cannot stand that stock. And that's coming from somebody who's one of their top favorites was Costco and Amazon before the split. And those were like the two most chunky moving, widespread, low volume stocks you could get. But yeah, Netflix is on the ban list. I love their streaming platform. I hate their stock. Don't like how it moves. It was fun back then, but not anymore. Yeah, Mike. I'm on to a less gambly type of trading now. I don't want my heartbeat to be high. I want my trades to be boring. Like a lot of you guys are probably bored during the trades that we take, which is fine. That's how you should feel. You shouldn't feel like you're on edge. You should feel calm, cool, and collected. Today Tesla was moving beautifully. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But all right, guys, if you guys aren't in the floor, there's the watch list for tomorrow. Screenshot it, do whatever you please with that list. And also, since we've got people in here, we've got about 30 minutes left in this whole session here. So if you guys want to turn this into a Q&A, feel free. Whatever questions you have, I'm more than happy to answer. So yeah, get to asking. And if you feel like your question's dumb, let me tell you right now, it's not. There's about 1 million questions you can have when it comes to trading, and almost none of them are dumb. And even if it is, I'll still answer it and act like it's not. Levels on your charts, blue dash lines, are those plotted yourself or an algo? The blue lines are all myself. I just have them, ooh, that is not what I was trying to do. I just have them set to a different default, Nicole. So if I go here and add a line, that's what it looks like for me. Default, it looks like this right here, which I do not like. So I just changed the color and I changed the style. Boom, style, boom, color, and then I save it as default. So every time I place one, it looks like that. Some of them I do change just depending on what I'm using the level for. Like if I'm marking a level and I know that it's not a level that I want to play, or if it's just a level that is less significant than a major level I'm looking at, I will change the style to something like this just so it doesn't stand out as much. And I might even remove the price from it just so it stands out even less. Like it's just there to mark as a reminder for something, not as a major level that I'm looking to either target or play. So that's why you see some variations there. And like I believe, what do we why am I blanking on what we traded today? Tesla. Maybe not Tesla, hold on. What was this on? Oh yeah, like AVGO, I know I have a couple here that I color differently just depending on what I have them marked for. I believe I had some on Oracle as well. Yeah, like typically these red lines, when I mark those are some type of fair value gap on a higher time frame. The orange dash lines typically are some type of gap that I marked. It's just, sometimes I change the color and style just based on what I'm using that level for, just so I don't mix it up with the main levels that I'm actually watching. But yeah. Is everybody in here in the floor? We've got like a super crazy, ridiculous deal going on right now. And if you're not, you need to take advantage of that. I'm trying to get as many people as possible making as much money as possible with no friction. Because I like when people show up to the lessons. Like the 13 of you that are here right now. I appreciate all of you. Because there's no point in me doing a lesson if there's nobody there. Listen to Nicole and Tony. What time frame do you use for entries and exits? So for my entries and exits, all of my execution I'm doing on this screen right here. Now, I don't execute through TOS. I execute through interactive, which is on, well, you guys can't see it, but there's a screen right here, there's a screen right here, and there's a screen right here. This screen is where my interactive is when I'm trading, but this is what I just call my execution screen on TOS. This is what I'm looking at chart-wise when I'm executing. So I keep multiple different time frames pulled up at the same time for the same stock, but I am always focusing on the 1 minute for my execution. Always. Reason for that is because the most amount of information that I'm going to get about a stock is going to be on the 1 minute time frame. Now, things can look better on higher time frames. Sometimes they can look worse. And so that's why I want to have those other time frames pulled up as well. Also, if we have any trends or anything like that that's lining up on a different time frame, I want to be able to see where we're at without having to switch back and forth. So this always stays as the 1 minute 100% of the time. It does not change. The middle chart will cycle between the 5 and 15, and the far right chart will typically go between the 30 minute and 1 hour. Sometimes I'll pull it up to the 4 hour if I need to. But yeah, this one is always the 1 minute. It's also the closest thing to my interactive screen. So everything that I'm looking at is all within my peripheral view here. So I'm always executing on the 1 minute because that is the most amount of information that I can possibly get about what the stock is doing right there. 5 minutes sometimes tell you a better story when you're in the trade. Yes, for sure, Mike, for sure. That's why I like to have these multiple time frames, because something might look absolutely disgusting on the 1 minute while we're in it, but you look at it on the 5 minute or the 15 minute or something, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Or it could be the other way around. It looks great on the 1 minute, and then if you look at it on everything else, it just looks disgusting. And you're like, wow, I need to not be in this trade. So having multiple time frames for the same stock is extremely useful. If you want to figure out how to set up your Thinkorswim like this, I do have a video on my channel on how to do literally exactly this setup. But I believe in that video, if you don't already use Thinkorswim, it's a full Thinkorswim walkthrough. But I believe in that video as well, I show you how to set it up for your actual executions too, to make everything as seamless as it can be. But yeah, if you want to figure out how to do this, just watch that video. I believe I can I drop links in the live chat? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, where is that? Oh, here it is. Hold on. You know what drives me nuts? My channel is not monetized, yet I still have ads on every single video. That drives me nuts. What's up, Brian? I see how in. I believe you. Believe you either meant to type more than that or you didn't mean to type at all. Really need a secondary monitor again. It helps so much. Yeah, Mike, honestly, monitors are like dirt cheap now. They really are. I was actually surprised with this one. Like this one that I have, I believe it's a 34-inch ultra wide. All right, Monty. Appreciate you. Yeah, this is like a 34-inch ultra wide curved whatever. And it's just way cheaper than I thought monitors used to be. Like whenever I first built my original trading setup, which actually these two monitors right here are a part of, monitors were just way more expensive back then for what you were getting. That's like the only thing that's dropped in price over the last however many years is like TVs and monitors. Thank you, Nicole. I also need a new monitor. Mine's dying. We gave one away. We gave one away. I don't even know. I can't even remember who we gave that to. I remember though, whoever we gave that away to lived in Canada, and the shipping was like so insane. Yes. Yes. You're right, Tarnbeer. You're right. No, that I was like the only person at the time in the server that was from Canada was the one that won the giveaway. And I was like, bro. I went to the UPS store and they gave me the estimate. I was like, is there any way I can just like order it off of Amazon straight to their place? They're like, yeah, you could do that. I was like, okay, what would we be looking at there? And they're like, free. I was like, oh, sick. I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know it was like that. I didn't know it was like that. On time frames, what day interval do you use? Example, 4 hour, 180 day, or 3. Brian, everything that I have on my time frame setup, I believe is actually default. 3-year weekly, 1 year 1 day, 20 day 1 hour, 10 day 30 minute, 5 day 15 minute, 5 day 5 minute, and 1 day 1 minute is what I have. I believe I also used to have 3-year 1 day on here, but I don't know why it's not on the list. So actually, hold up. I'm going to do that right now because I did have that on here at one point. There we go. Boom. Now I have the 3-year 1 day on there as well. But yeah, the main ones I use are the 180 day, 4 hour, and down. I don't typically go out to the yearly too often just because there's not much need for me to. Oh shoot, I just realized I didn't even leave the, there we go. There we go, the crazy long watch list we have here. Need a crazy sale on Boxing Day to treat myself. Boxing Day, what is Boxing Day? Nah, I've never heard of that in my life. Never heard of that in my life. Oh. Yeah, no. I don't believe that we do. I do not believe that we do. All the Canadians are about to come at me right now. I believe so. I've never heard of that. Cyber Monday? Yeah, we have that. We actually have a lot of Canadians in here. I think that's interesting. I was going through my YouTube analytics and it gives me like a little game to play to guess where my main like audience is at. And my secondary audience was Canada and not by that much of a gap. Like Canada was almost tied for number 1. Y'all got Tim Hortons A? No, we don't have Tim Hortons. Wow, Meta is actually going for it right now. I need this thing to chill out for about 12 more hours. Actually, 13 more hours. What's up, Austin? What's good? Have Tim Hortons in Ohio? Wait, what? Really? Hold up. I'm about to fact check this right now. Oh, why? I update my phone and Apple Maps is making me. No way. We do have Tim Hortons. I didn't even know that. I thought that was a strictly Canada thing only. Yeah. Well, Nicole, my state has it. It just happens to be 4 hours away. Yeah, I don't foresee I don't foresee myself taking a trip to this town just to get Tim Hortons. Indiana, Nicole. I don't know if you remember, but like 3 weeks ago, I talked about sizing up. Finally made the move and strictly been focusing on 1 to 3% profits generally, depending on what the market gives me, more or less. Finally sized up and it's really started to pay off. That's sick, Austin. The only thing that I would say with that is I would try and stick away from having a daily profit goal. I really would. I've never had a daily profit goal. Now, there's probably a number subconsciously in my head that I am aiming for, but that does not mean that it needs to happen in order for me to have a good day. Having a daily profit goal is literally only going to hurt you. So I wouldn't necessarily aim for the 1 to 3%. I would just aim to have a good trading day, which really the only definition of a good trading day is if you followed your plan. You can have a red day and it was still a good trading day. You can have a green day and it could be a bad trading day, just depending on what you're doing. Like some of my biggest days, I would consider those bad trading days because I just was either risking too much or taking trades that I shouldn't be, stuff along the lines of that, like just having to do some wild shit to get to my end goal. It's not, I wouldn't count that as a good trading day, even if I had a nice day. So yeah, that would be the only thing I would say, is probably try and stick away from daily profit goals. Good trading day for me is one that doesn't make me feel anxious or icky, green or red. Yeah, Nicole. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like if you have a plan and you follow that plan, regardless of how it winds up, that's a good trading day. Biggest green day was my worst trading day. Yeah. I understand that, Mike. I understand that. That's what I'm saying. You probably did some crazy shit to get there, and it was something that you probably should not be doing on a consistent basis, and the vast majority of the time would not work out in your favor. So you can have red days that are great trading days and green days that are absolutely horrible. And so your profit doesn't necessarily tell you whether it was a good day or not. I mean, any day you make money technically feels good, but it doesn't mean it was a good trading day. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Let's see. All right, guys. Does anybody have any more questions for me here? We've still got about 13 minutes. Agree with that, low key. For sure, Tarnbeer. Can you call me at 6 a.m. so I actually wake up? So there is this app on your phone. Do you have an iPhone? Yes? Okay. So if you have an iPhone, there is this app called Clock. And on this app called Clock, there's this thing called an alarm. And you can go through and set whatever alarm you need to wake you up at whatever time you're trying to wake up at. So I would highly recommend going in there and typing in 600 and making sure it says AM, and pick the most obnoxious noise you can think of, and then make sure that little green switch is flipped on, and you should be good. Eventually you won't need an alarm. You wake up before it. Yeah. My bad. I did answer it, though. To be completely fair, I did answer it. Let's see. Definitely been working on the mental state when trading. Now I'm making focused, clear decision when I'm in the market. For whatever reason. Oh, wait, sorry. And not letting my emotions take control. That's good, Austin. For whatever reason, my alarm didn't wake me up this morning. Yeah. I hate when that happens. I can honestly sleep through about anything, so I feel that. Eventually, you won't need an alarm. Any specific routine you follow in the morning to lock in and calm the nerves? I really don't have nerves anymore, Mike. I don't know that I like that I don't have nerves anymore, but I really don't. Like, I don't really have nerves about much. So no, there's not a specific routine that I do to calm my nerves, but my favorite routine to do in the mornings, which I am going to be completely honest with you and say, it is difficult for me for some reason, but I really enjoy going to the gym in the mornings. I really do. Before trading, I love going to the gym. However, actually making myself get up to do that for some reason is a struggle now. I've always been more of a nighttime gym person, which sucks because first thing in the morning I have nothing to do. And then obviously trading, and then pretty much every night I have lessons. So like my typical nighttime gym time is about lesson time. So like I kind of screwed myself making the lesson schedule because that is technically the time that I prefer to go to the gym. If I could, actually, I'm saying if I could, I can make myself do it. I have not made myself do it though. If I can and would make myself get up early enough in the morning to go to the gym, that would actually be my ideal start to my day. But yeah, other than that, not really, Mike. I think all the videos you see about people like waking up at 4 a.m. and then meditating for 4.5 hours before market open is like, really? Like you really got to do all that just to take one trade and call it good? We are numb. My nerves when I first started were so crazy. Yeah, Austin, a lot of that actually has to do with sizing as well. Once you get like the tiniest bit of experience and you have a, I'm going to say strategy, but strategy, I guess, wouldn't really even be the right word, but just plans in general. Once you have plans and you know those plans are solid, and if you just follow those plans over a long period of time, you're chilling, the nerves kind of just go away. Like there's not much to be nervous about unless you are just actually way over leveraged in a trade. Wish, but it doesn't work for me because I take the kids to school and stuff. Well, Mike, the only thing that I could say there, obviously you have to take your kids to school. So the only thing that I could say there is that maybe somehow try and turn that into some form of calming. I don't know, not even calming. It doesn't even have to be calming. It just has to be like time where you're not fully infatuated with how much money you're trying to make or lose or whatever in a day. Really, the best thing to do before trading, other than the pre-market planning, obviously we have to do that, but the best thing to do before that is just don't think about it. I don't think about it at all. Whenever I'm not trading, I don't think about it anymore. It used to be all that I thought about, but now it's like I want to think about this when I'm teaching because I like teaching, and I'm going to think about this when I'm trading because I have to. Other than that, I don't care. Like I will get texts from people and say, did you see this, did this? Did you see this, did this? Wow, look at how much this moved after we got out or whatever. I do not care. It does not matter to me. Like there's nothing, almost nothing in the middle of the day after I've already said I'm done could make me feel bad about walking away from my computer and not thinking about trading. Look, you get nervous when a trade goes in my direction. I think it's happy nerves, but yeah. Yeah, that's a thing, Seth. I think that's also one of those scenarios where you're just thinking about how much you could make. I don't exactly know what that emotion would be. It's not greed necessarily. But yeah, I don't know. Eventually, you're just not going to get those anymore. And that's when you know you're like truly locked in as a trader, is when you don't feel that type of stuff anymore. Let's see, enjoy your night. Let's have a great day. Yes, sir, Austin. I get excited after I exit and see the P&L. It's different, but I don't know. Yeah, that's cool too, Seth. That's good. I mean, being excited is not bad. I get excited sometimes, but it's not like I'm never really fluttering. Like my heart's never really fluttering like that. I mean, the only time, any time recently that has been a thing is on Thursday and Friday of last week. Friday was legitimately accidental. And Thursday, it was just one of those where we were in that trade for a hot minute and we were up crazy. And it was like, I know I need to just not touch anything, but I really want to get out. That's about the only thing that I have felt recently while in a trade. I know I'm not a bad trader. I know how to trade. I just need to learn to get my emotions under control. I know I can make great things happen because I have before. Yeah, Mike, that's good. The only thing there is everybody can make money. Everybody can make money. You just have to learn how to keep it. That's the main thing. That's the part that people struggle with. Like you can hand somebody a phone with TOS loaded up on it or Robinhood loaded up on it, whatever, and tell them to make money, and they probably could, but they wouldn't be able to keep it if they were trying to do it over a long period of time. So the making money part is not even the problem, it's the keeping it. What if we catch 150% on Q in a minute after you said you're done? That's fine. Honestly, I don't care. There's always going to be more trades in the market. Like I look at this like it is a job. I'm clocking in, I'm getting my work done as quickly as possible, and I'm clocking out and leaving. I mean, obviously I want to do my work well and I want to do my work right, but if you are looking at it from a game perspective, which is what I used to do, I literally used to look at it like it was a game. How much money can I make today? Right? Versus I need to do my job. Those are two very different levels of consistency that you're looking at there, because the one where you're looking at it from how much money can I make today is not going to get you consistent. The one where you're looking at it as I just need to do my job will. Because what is your job? Your job is to execute your plan, right? And when you just execute your plan and then you say, okay, work's done, I'm clocking out, I'm going home, you would do that at any other job that you go to. If you could go do your work, be done, and leave when your work is done, you would absolutely do that, especially if you were getting paid the same. So why wouldn't you do that here too? Like there is genuinely no purpose in doing all this if you're going to sit at the charts all day long every single day. Like a lot of people are trading because they don't want 9 to 5 or whatever. But if you're sitting at the charts for 12 hours every day, just watching everything move, trying to catch something else, like you might as well go to work. Like you're not risking anything at your job. Might as well go to work. Well, yeah, sorry, that's my dog. Let's see. My dog's clearly not going to stop moving by the time I start talking again, so I'm just going to let him do his thing over here. Can we see your dog? You can, Seth. I'll let him out here in just a minute. Hold on. After I sized up, saw myself hit consistent 3-digit days. I don't feel anything on normal 2-digit days anymore. Yeah, Seth, that's completely normal. That is completely normal. Like Friday, honestly, the only reason that I even took that Oracle trade on Friday is because I was down. I believe I was down like $100 or like $140 or something. And I was like, okay, coming off of an 8K day, like it's not really like you can look at it from two perspectives there. Was it a good setup? Yes. Would I have typically taken that trade if I had already had a good day? Probably not. But the setup was fine. It wasn't a bad setup, and I wasn't just taking a trade just to take a trade, but I was kind of looking at it from the perspective of like, I'm either going to be red or I'm going to be green. This setup looks nice. I'm going to take this, even though technically I probably should have been done by then. But yeah, I mean, it just feels that way, Seth. And like, I have pictures and screenshots from when I made like 20 bucks in a day and I was hyped. So there's obviously, I mean, once you get to a certain level, you're gonna look at the level before that like it's not any big deal. And like, I know there's a lot of people actually in the chat right now that are kind of going through that transition of like, they were pretty much making 2-digit days every single day. And now like they hit their first couple 3-digit days, and now pretty much every day is consistent 3-digit days. So that's just the normal progression, Seth. So upset at myself on Friday. I broke my #1 rule and seriously paid for it. Well, Nicole, unfortunately, that is sometimes what has to happen with rules like that. I know that I had to learn everything the hard way whenever I was figuring this all out. I mean, you know, you can hear things a million times and see things a million times, and you're still not going to do them. I mean, that's kind of the type of person that I am, is like pretty much everything that I do, I have to learn it the hard way. I can't just, I don't know. I can't blindly listen and just do. I just have to figure it out until I can tell myself, okay, yes, this works, or okay, no, this does not work. I'm not bragging, Nicole. I'm just saying that's like, that's a fine trait to have. That's a fine trait to have. But I'm sure that if you do it more than a few times, you're going to learn from it pretty quickly. Because if you're journaling and you're writing down that stuff, that's the main part that made me grow, is like, why do I keep writing down this same thing? I'm tired of writing down this same thing that I keep doing. I don't want to write this down anymore, so I'm going to stop doing that. Okay, hold on. It's raining out here. That's another reason I can't get up. Yeah. All right, guys, hold on. If you want to see the dog, give me 2 seconds here. Give me 2 seconds. Because, okay, actually, before I get him, because once I get him, there's going to be no more room for questions here. But does anybody have any final questions or comments or whatever before we wrap this up? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. I will be right back. Hold on. There we go. There he is. Right here. Look at the camera, dude. You got people that want to see you. Oh, and he doesn't care. He is, Seth. He might actually end the stream for me on accident, so. Oh my lord. Yeah, he's gotten pretty big. But he's a good boy. Hey, look at the camera, dude. Look at the camera. It's right there. Oh. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for coming out and sticking around. Thank you for coming out and sticking around. I'll catch you all first thing in the morning for pre-market review.